GALP
おい大地、ブッシュヒルゴルフパークで会おう。最寄りの駅は地下鉄ビクトリア線のコックフォスターズだよ。ブッシュロード、コックフォスターズ、マジでそんな場所本当にあんの？からかわれてる？絶対からかわれてるよな。もうネットで調べたいのに、ロンドンマジで Wi-Fi 全然ないんだけど、どうなってんの？海外旅行や出張の準備は万全ですか？次回日本を離れる際はグローバル Wi-Fi で安心。イギリスやアメリカを含む200以上の国と地域で Wi-Fi が利用可能。全国39カ所、そして20の空港で便利な受け取りサービスをご用意。さらに128の国と地域で無制限プランも。お得な価格で快適なインターネットを。今すぐタウン Wi-Fi.com にアクセスし、クーポンコード GAL を入力して 10% 割引をゲットしましょう。この番組はグランドスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
My name is Bish and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Hey, ooh. Is this illegal? Hey, ooh. It feels illegal. I wasn't going to actually sing the whole song, but you know what? For you new folks, GALP is a weekly gaming discussion podcast under the GALP Podcast Network. We talk about all sorts of games, from big AAA titles all the way to awesome indie games, but our forte is Japanese games, so expect that a lot. We can be found anywhere where you listen to your podcasts, including Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and now on YouTube. Whilst you're there, be sure to give us a 5-star review, and remember, if you want to join in on the fun, then follow us on all of our socials: Blue Sky, TikTok, Insta, and X, all at GAL Podcasts. So that intro, I was basically speaking to Jacob, and he had mentioned that Illegal by Pink Pantheress and one of the Danganronpa songs in the soundtrack might be sharing a sample. I don't know if that's intentional. I heard Pink is an avid gamer, but there is no way for me to know if she is a fan of Danganronpa. Anyway, let's talk about Daddy Rompa rumors. I know I said Daddy Rompa, I'm sorry. That's the name for it. That's our name, official name for it. Apparently, Spike Chunsoft is teasing some stuff online, and it is a bit cryptic. Unfortunately, I'm going to spoil the game. So if you've never played Danganronpa 2, Danganronpa 1, Ultra Despair Girls, or even Danganronpa V3, then get out of here. Seriously, get out of here. It's for your own good. It's 2025. If you haven't played Danganronpa, get to it. It's pretty cheap on Steam and it's usually on sale. Okay, it's been 15 years since Spike Chunsoft and Kodaka had graced us with the Danganronpa series. A lot has happened in that 15 years, including Kodaka leaving Spike Chunsoft shortly after the release of Danganronpa V3 to start his own game studio with Zero Escape series creator Uchi Koshi, as well as other employees from Spike Chunsoft. During this time, we saw publishing rights also make its way back to Spike Chunsoft from NIS America in Europe and in North America. I don't really have much interaction with Spike Chunsoft directly. In the past, our main sort of company that we would deal with for Danganronpa was NIS America, I believe up until V3. So I'm a little bit upset by it, but ultimately it's a better decision for the developers to publish and localize their own games. Anyway, 15 years of Danganronpa. That's kind of crazy, since GALP also started in the same year, 2010. And so did a bunch of other companies and a bunch of other games. Like, I believe even the Neptunia series also started in 2010. I can't remember the rest of them now, but there is quite a few that started back then. Anyway, there is a bit on the site showcasing new events for the anniversary, as well as character goods for sale. Now, there are question marks, and if you scroll down to the bottom, Monokuma appears with the caption "coming soon" in English. What does this mean? Could it be a reveal of some artwork, or potentially they go further with some countdown close to some sort of time? There is some sort of thing going on at the moment. If you enter the hamburger menu of the site, the question marks are covered in that signature Danganronpa pink blood, as well as the caption "Upupu" in Japanese, which is actually Monokuma's laugh. I don't know why I said it like French, "Upupu." But yeah, it's Monokuma's laugh in Japanese. You know that laugh? I'm trying to do it. It's not working out for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Or is it? Jacob, the absolute legend, actually shared with me a Reddit post that suggested there could be a game announcement in the works for the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch. People have already searched the site's code and found mentions of PS5 and Switch, but oddly enough, not Switch 2. At first I was thinking maybe it's a re-release of Danganronpa Decadence, the Switch port of Danganronpa trilogy. It could be the case, as we've seen so many re-releases of this game over the years with 1-2 Reload, with Trilogy, with Decadence, etc. Assuming this game is a Switch title, what could it be? Because Decadence already exists on the Switch, and it's currently compatible with the Switch 2. I mean, why wouldn't it? It's a very small game, not very hard to run. After all, this series was originally on the PlayStation Portable, so you can kind of assume any potato can run it. It could be a full collection, including Ultra Despair Girls, a game that doesn't really get much love within the Danganronpa series, or it could be something completely new, like a new entry into the series. Now, Jacob and I were discussing as friends do, and we think it might be a new entry into the killing games. Here's where the spoilers come in. In V3, the third mainline title, it was revealed that Danganronpa is actually the 53rd killing game, inspired by the original Danganronpa games and anime. Hence why the game is called V3, for the Roman numeral 5. V. Get it? Okay. Pretty weird that they left it up to interpretation on whether or not the events of the first couple of games and anime is fake or not. And it was pretty much a mental roller coaster for me. I still don't really get the ending. I'll need to bring on some professionals to kind of explain it to me. V3, from my understanding, is a separate universe from the rest of the titles. And within V3, the games are just games in our world, right? So it's very meta. But it leaves us with options. In theory, that leaves Spike Chunsoft open to continuing the story within V3's universe, giving us the potential for at least 52 new Danganronpa games, covering each reality TV show starting from first season. There's also the option of it continuing from the main storyline of Danganronpa, which makes sense, which basically makes the events of V3 kind of non-canon. I don't really want to get into it because it's been a long time since I played Danganronpa, and I love the series and all, but the lore is so much to deal with. Speaking of lore, I'm surprised a game series like this hasn't gone mainstream. It's very popular, but you know what I mean? Like, where are the game theory videos? You know, where's MatPat on this, you know? And how come we don't have like a Netflix series or like a K-drama adaptation? Speaking of Korea, by the way, I didn't know this until today, but Danganronpa V3 is currently banned in South Korea, despite the other games in the series being quite successful. The timing was quite tragic. The game in general had raised some concerns, as a 17-year-old girl had murdered the child at the time. The media had reported that the murderer was part of a Danganronpa roleplay community online. Now, that wasn't the case. The general public had very negative opinions on the franchise because of the news coverage, and I believe even some news networks were even emulating like the vibe of Danganronpa. Like, they were having like class trials and stuff. It was pretty odd. As a result, the game got rejected by the rating board in South Korea, stating that the game crossed the line where it would be difficult to allow in society, which is fair. Personally, I think the timing was bad in this case, as there is a lot of similar media nowadays that feature killing games. For example, Squid Game, which had 3 seasons and has made South Korea quite popular in recent years and has generated a lot of revenue for the country. Now, I'm not going to say it's a double standard because these two things are many years apart, but I do hope that the rating board will consider or reconsider if there is a re-release of the game on modern hardware, or if a new title was to be released. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, and I'm a little bit concerned if there is going to be a new game coming out. I have no doubt that it's going to be great, but Kodaka has left, and yes, there is still members of Team Danganronpa on there, but who's going to continue it? Who's going to continue with the story? I think a lot of people love the Danganronpa series because of the creators and because of the writing team and the staff there. Now, if that staff is no longer there, then what's the point? There may be some sort of backlash amongst fans. You know, fans will be like, well, this is not canon because it's not made by Kodaka, or they won't even accept the game because it's not made by Kodaka. I think for me, I'm always up for new Danganronpa. Always, always, always. I don't think that this is going to be potentially a new game. I think 15 years is an anniversary, and yes, they could release a new game for it or they could promote a new game for it, but I think they need some time before they can actually publish and create a new Danganronpa game. The reason I say this is because, first of all, there is no Kodaka. Kodaka has left for a number of years now. He left in 2017. So there has been a number of years since he's left. So I could prepare people for a new game or whatnot. But also at the same time, we have to also remember localization and dubbing and things like that has also played a very important role in the Danganronpa series. And this would technically be the first game that wasn't localized by NIS America. Now, like I said, NIS America has always been very important to the Danganronpa series because they did the localization. V3, I think, had one of the most text in a main, I don't want to say mainstream game, but like a big game, like a very popular series has one of the most amount of text in a game and lines that need to be translated, and not just translated, like jokes need to translate well from Japanese and things like that. So a lot of work has gone into their localization, and we've spoken with NIS in the past about their localization process, especially on the Danganronpa series, and it is a passion project to them. They absolutely love the games that they're working on. I'm not saying that Spike Chunsoft wouldn't also, but would they put in as much effort? And bear in mind, they're a lot smaller than NIS America. NIS America had a lot of money to kind of put behind Danganronpa because it was like one of their best-selling games. So, if you ever play a Danganronpa in English, the voice acting is always on point because they get some really good voice actors, people that are really famous in the community now, like Keiji Tang, Aaron Fitzgerald. There is a bunch of other voice actors in the Danganronpa series. They pretty much get the best of the best. So, I don't know. Does Spike Chunsoft have that budget for their publishing side of things to then do localization, or are we going to get no localization at all? Are they going to give it back to NIS America purely for the localization efforts? We don't know. That could be an effort. That could be something as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't know at the moment. Even with Kodaka, are they going to partner with Tokyu Games? I believe is the name of is it Tokyu? I can't remember the name of the company, but are they going to be partnering with Kodaka's company so that he can work on this title again? We're not too sure. And yeah, that's my thought so far on Danganronpa and where it is with the series, where we are going to go. I would definitely love more content surrounding Danganronpa, whether it's in the V3's universe or in a continuation of the original games, or even new universe completely. A lot of people are like, oh, can we get a Danganronpa remake? That's quite interesting because technically, yes, it would be very interesting for them to just start from the beginning. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, they could, in theory, start Danganronpa from the beginning with new characters and new everything, and just effectively only character that they keep would be like Monokuma, or Monomi as well. But like, yeah, the only character they could keep would be Monokuma, and they could just retell the whole story without Kodaka and without the help of NIS America. Now, that would also be it technically could be its own like spin-off or whatever the case may be, but that could be an option as well. Would I want that? No, I kind of want to see the expansion of what happens next. Like, I'm really intrigued by the V3 storyline. I want to know what happens after that. Obviously, I don't know how to explain it. Like, they go out into the world, right? Are we going to see another game like Ultra Despair Girls, a 3D shooter style of game where you control the characters of V3? That'll be interesting. Are we going to see a Danganronpa hack and slash? Because Ultra Despair Girls did have that, with Genocide Show, or Genocide Jill, I believe is the name in English. But are we going to see that? Are we going to see more of a hack and slash game? Are we going to see it more visual novel style? Let me know what you guys think. And actually, I want to get back on with a discussion and talk to you guys. There is a new feature on the podcast now where if you are on the website, if you go to getlifepodcast.com/GALP or /GALP, there's a button that says upload audio. So what you need to do, you want to join in on the fun, then record yourself doing an audio note and send it into the show, and I'll hear your opinions. We'll play it back. And yeah. And I also want to do like discussions with people as well. There is a few people that I know that are big fans of the Danganronpa series, and I do want to bring them on to have discussions about Danganronpa, because there is so much that I can talk about that I can't really talk about on my own, I'm struggling to kind of finish this episode. Anyway, that being said, we'll see you guys next week for the next episode of GALP. I don't know what it's going to be about, but that's what I like sometimes. I just like talking about what I want to talk about. So, yeah. See you guys. Bye.